Good evening, good evening, good evening. I hope this video finds you well, or whenever it finds you. I've got a bunch of big stories I've been researching for you, so let's go ahead and jump into them. Crazy stuff like MSNBC being caught manipulating the American public, and now they're being sued for $30 million. Fights break out over on The View, and Trump is called a member of the KKK. Plus, old race bait dialogue is going on with ABC News and much, much more. I'm going to be jumping right into this. Hello, everybody. Looks like we have Iowa, Florida, Chicago, Canada, Nashville, Tennessee, Northeast Texas. Hello, everybody. Let's go ahead and jump into today's news update. Amid fears the U.S. economy is entering a recession, Japan just suffered its worst stock market crash in history. Overall, the Nikkei 225 index, which is kind of like the S&P 500 or NASDAQ of America, dropped 4,500 points. To put this crash into context, the previous worst drop was in 1987, where the index fell 3,800 points. So Japan is freaking out. They're going through their 2008 all over again, and the worry is this will ripple through the global economy. The primary driver appears to be fear from the U.S. jobs report that was released last Friday. This report revealed a slowdown in hiring by employers, raising concerns about U.S. economic weakness and whether Kamala Harris will really be able to tamp down inflation and keep this economy going. Now, furthermore, major retailers such as Amazon missed their projected earnings for the second quarter in a row. If the US does that, it's officially recession. Now the big box companies are doing this, which is just more evidence of an unhealthy economy. However, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and the White House continue to lie to the American people that we are in an incredible economy, where Americans are receiving higher wages than ever before. But what do higher wages matter if everything you buy and finance is significantly more expensive? So that is the big problem that we are seeing. Now, in regards to the U.S. stock market, the Dow Jones Industrial Average Index is down 1,000 points. This index is composed of 30 large companies, such as Apple, Boeing, Coca-Cola, Nike, Walmart, and more, which makes this especially bad. So you have the American family feeling the pinch. You now have big box retailers and Wall Street feeling the pinch. Yet the White House continues to lie, saying everything's fine. Don't believe your ears. Don't believe your eyes. Now, when looking at the health of the American economy, examining these corporate giants is typically a clear indicator of what is to come. Now, because the Dow is crashing, it's an indicator that people believe even the wealthiest of companies are struggling. Now, imagine what it's like to be lower income or a middle class. Everything is more expensive. It's just now the wealthy and big box that are starting to feel this. Now, if you have money in the stock market, this doesn't mean you need to panic. But it does mean that you need to have your eyes open and be vigilant. There's a lot of money to be made when the market drops, but there's also a lot of money to be lost. So please be careful out there. By the way, thank you guys so much for liking and sharing these videos. It really helps me out, so thank you guys so much. All right, man, there's a lot of people in the house tonight. By the way, you guys gave one of my videos almost 200,000 likes. So thank you. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. Now, in response to this economic downturn and the fear that comes along with it, former President Donald Trump criticized presidential candidate Kamala Harris over on Truth Social. Trump wrote, "Stock markets crashing. I told you so. Kamala doesn't have a clue. Biden is sound asleep. All caused by inept U.S. leadership." By the way, who's actually running the United States right now? It's not Joseph Robinette Biden, and it's not Kamala Harris. This should terrify you. Nobody knows who's running the country. Now, Trump further argued that the situation will deteriorate if he is not elected, claiming that the probability of World War III is rising daily. And Trump is not the only one saying this. He's not just saying this to get reelected. Many top leaders fear we are heading for more wars or expanded wars because as economies tighten, people start to panic, trade gets tighter, and war typically breaks out. We do not want that. We want strong, strong leadership. All right, let's see. Patrick Ropecki, Stephen, with NMA, are you taking 250 or 1,000? Watched a video of Jamie Raskin saying, even if Trump wins, we're going to arrest him and cause civil war. I saw that. It's not in my script tonight, but it will be tomorrow. Let's see. It looks like I'm taking the 1,000 NMN, but they do have a 250 NMNH, which has hydrogen, which is supposed to help absorb things. So hopefully that answered your question. All right, let me keep going. Now, I agree with Trump, and it has me worried. I've been covering these wars, and we do not want this stuff coming to American shores. We have the Russia-Ukraine war. We have Israel and Iran going to war. We have Hezbollah trying to go to war, and we have Palestine going to war. Plus, we have all of the unrest in America. But interestingly enough, I don't know if you're watching this, the United Kingdom is on the verge of a serious civil war. For those of you who have maybe not been following, the United Kingdom has erupted in violent protests over the weekend after a 17-year-old boy whose parents are Rwandan immigrants killed 3 United Kingdom children. This incident has sparked worldwide demonstration against open border policies, with rioters taking to the street. Online videos depict scenes of people fighting, jumping on cars, setting buildings on fire. In response to one of these videos, billionaire Elon Musk, the head of Twitter, said, "Civil war is inevitable in the United Kingdom." Even Ireland is dealing with this as illegal immigrants are causing major crime and issues with locals because of religious differences or the way their society behaves compared to where they came from. Plus, locals are sick and tired of illegals getting taxpayer money while local citizens that pay taxes are being pushed to the side and looked at as second-class citizens. I know we're feeling that here at home in the United States, but nowhere is it exploding more than in the United Kingdom and in Ireland. By the way, did you know that Poland and Hungary are being fined every day for not taking in illegal immigrants? They're saying it's time to put our country first and not these illegals. David Blakely, thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate that. Now, unfortunately, the worldwide turmoil we've all experienced has been brushed off by the fake news media in order to benefit Kamala Harris. They don't want her associated with any of the garbage that's going on, even though she is currently in top leadership. They've even cherry-picked the polling data to make it seem like Harris will easily defeat Donald Trump, like she is going to have a landslide victory over Donald Trump. But when you dig in and examine the polling data across all 50 states, the picture is clear. Donald Trump remains in the lead, and Kamala Harris's honeymoon, followed up by the Obama endorsement, is sinking very, very quickly. In fact, I watched a video this morning from Rasmussen Polling, and they said that most of the polling data out there is proving that Donald Trump continues to maintain his aggressive lead over Biden and Kamala Harris, and they believe that he is on track to become president of these United States. All right, now, there's a YouTube channel called Election Time, and they've been doing polling data, and they found that if the election were held today, that Trump would beat Harris in the Electoral College with 298 votes to 240 votes, which makes Donald Trump the president of the United States. So we'll see what happens. But again, that came out today. That was if the election was held today, while Kamala Harris is being touted as better than sliced bread, better than Joe Biden, better than Barack Hussein Obama, she would still lose to Donald J. Trump. Now, despite Trump maintaining a lead over Kamala Harris, she has continued to claim that Trump is scared to debate her. While Trump has publicly floated the idea that he's winning by enough, he doesn't need to debate her at all, he has agreed to debate her on Fox News. He said, I'll see her on September 4th, or I won't see her. Now, many are predicting that because it's at Fox News, she's not going to show up to the debate. But Trump is going to show up to the debate, and he's planning to answer the questions and put on an event, whether she shows up or not. Now, Kamala says she's going to do the same thing. She is calling for a debate over on ABC News, and she is saying that Trump is scared to debate her because she's such a dominant debater. But really, Trump is thinking, why would I do that? So we'll see. My guess is he will do it. If not, she will show up and they will have her debate an empty chair. But my guess is Donald Trump will team up with Fox News or with Tucker Carlson or some big name and do his own show on that very night. He's such a gangster. All right. Now, furthermore, it does not seem like Harris will show up if it's over on Fox News. She is not only scared of Trump, but scared of the Fox News moderators. She is desperate to have a debate where she can get softball questions from Bill Clinton crony George Stephanopoulos. So I'll continue to keep you updated on what happens over there. Now, as the deep state attempts to usher in their new puppet, Representative Nancy Pelosi is pushing for President Joe Biden to be added to Mount Rushmore. She says he is the greatest president the United States has ever had. Now, over in the comments, I want you to tell me, is Joe Biden the greatest president we've ever had? Or is he a terrible president? If he's great, I want you to type G. And if he's terrible, I want you to type T. I think he's been terrible, absolutely terrible, but I want to hear from you guys. Now, during an interview with CBS News, Nancy Pelosi stated Biden is such a consequential president of the United States, a Mount Rushmore kind of president of the United States. She says he's better than Barack Obama. Like President Obama is garbage compared to Joseph Robinette Biden. Now, when asked if she actually thought he should be added next to President Lincoln, she stated, you've got Teddy Roosevelt up there. You can add Biden. So like what? Like chisel Teddy Roosevelt's face off of Mount Rushmore and add Joe Biden? Are you kidding me? Like, yeah, I'm seeing T. You guys think he's terrible. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. You guys, I'm sorry. I'm trying not to laugh. This is serious business. Drunk Pelosi is saying to chisel out Teddy Roosevelt's face and replace it with Joe Biden. She's crazy. Like, stick to stealing money through the stock market, Nancy. You should not be designing national monuments. Gosh. All right. Isn't it funny how politics works? Whoever's in now is the bee's knees, right? But as soon as you're useless, boom, you're out of there. It's not what have you done, but what have you done for us recently? And Joe Biden, he's done nothing. So they got to make Kamala the best thing, right? All right, pretty dang crazy. All right, now I have some really big stories, but first let me take 50 seconds to tell you about our amazing video sponsor. Colonial Metals Group helped me with my goal of protecting my financial future. being at the whim of the stock market or the Biden administration or the Kamala Harris administration. This doesn't make me feel safe. This doesn't make me feel secure. Look at what the stock market is doing right now. But having a self-directed IRA where I can safely store gold and silver, assets that have stood the test of time, like no one was talking about the US dollar in the Bible, they were talking about gold and silver. No matter the economy or the government, gold and silver makes sense to me. Colonial Metals Group has helped me create a self-directed IRA where I can have direct access to my assets. So let the team of experts at CMG help protect your family and your future. Their level of professionalism and ability to listen makes it easy for you to learn about the benefits of preserving your wealth. Now, maybe you're just getting started, or maybe you have a 401k or an IRA, or maybe you're in charge of protecting mom and dad's hard-earned money. Either way, Colonial Metals Group can help, and I highly recommend them. Now, we've put together a special offer for my audience. Click now on the link in the description below, or call the 800 number to receive a safe and up to $7,500 in free silver. Check out colonialmetalsgroup.com/Gardner or call 800-807-21. With the stock market going down like it has, having gold and silver is only going to become more attractive. I own gold and silver. The dollar is down 26%. Meanwhile, gold is up over 30% since I started talking about it. All right, now listen to this. This is insane. Disgraced former Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle has now found herself in more hot water. Another controversy, like as if a former president almost having his head shot off wasn't enough. You remember the cocaine they found in the White House, and suddenly they, dropped the investigation, couldn't figure out who it was. Well, according to secret sources that have come forward to Zero Hedge News, she had intimate knowledge about the investigation, and she's the one that personally called for them to step down, to step to the side, to stop the investigation. Like, what does she know that we don't know, right? So while the drugs were initially tested and there was a DNA match identified, Kimberly Cheadle, reportedly scared that she would actually figure out who it was, said, we're not going to do this investigation anymore. Like, we're shutting it down. So one of the sources close to the situation stated they didn't want to know or even narrow down the field of who it could be. It could have been Hunter Biden. It could have been a White House staffer. It could have been someone on a tour. Either way, they did not want to know who brought illegal hard drugs into the Oval Office area of the White House. Now, remember, my friend and show regular, Colonel Tony Schaefer, told us that it is nearly impossible to get into the Oval Office. Background checks, multiple layers of security, things that he's not allowed to divulge. So he said, whoever brought the cocaine into the White House had to have been intimately related or close to Joe Biden. Otherwise, they would not have been able to get those drugs into the White House. So she is the one that ordered this investigation to be shut down. Pretty crazy. All right, now, just a week after the Biden administration was exposed for negotiating a plea deal with 3 terrorists involved in killing 2,977 people on 9/11, Defense Secretary General Lloyd Austin said, hell no. He shut it down. He canceled it. He said, you do not plea deal with terrorists. Are you crazy? This option is off the table, and I have sole discretion on who we negotiate with. So he is saying no. As head of the military, we are not going to negotiate with terrorists. Now, I think this might be the first thing that General Lloyd Austin has done that I agree with. I mean, 2,977 people lost their lives because of these 3 terrorists and others. And you would never have had a plea deal with terrorists if you didn't have a weak-minded, poor-memory president such as Joe Biden. This guy can't remember the pain caused by these terrorists. And so what was he going to do? Negotiate with them. Why not just give them $5 billion, Joe Biden? That's what you did with Iran. So General Lloyd Austin has said, hell no, we are not negotiating with terrorists. We are not letting these people off the hook. Now, to make matters worse, the U.S. government is just horrible at dealing with terrorism. So bad, in fact, that the Special Inspector General of the Afghanistan reconstruction effort just published a report which shows the United States donated $239 million to the Taliban since we withdrew. While this likely wasn't on purpose, the Taliban has been known to set up fake nonprofits in order to steal money from American taxpayers. And that's exactly what they did. Here's what the report read. Because State Department divisions could not demonstrate their compliance with states' partner vetting requirements, there is an increased risk that terrorists and terrorist-affiliated individuals and entities may have illegally benefited from the state spending in Afghanistan. This is crazy. So while you struggle to pay your bills, you struggle to put gas in your car, you struggle to buy groceries and put food on the table, the freaking Taliban was given hundreds of millions of dollars of your hard-earned tax money because of the Biden White House. It makes me mad. You guys, it makes me so mad. Like, I see so many Americans that are struggling, and then I hear that we've just literally been giving hundreds of millions of dollars to people that would kill us, given the chance. So sad. So many Americans are struggling. It's just pathetic. The government can't comply with their own vetting requirements. Are you freaking kidding me? It's either people are lazy or they don't care. I don't know. I don't know what is going on in Washington, D.C. Either way, it's now been proven that Joe Biden gave taxpayer money to terrorists. This is completely unacceptable. All right, now I want to react to a video with you. Did you know that mainstream media, MSNBC, was busted, caught, using AI and clever editing to make it look like world-famous podcaster Joe Rogan has endorsed Kamala Harris and told his hundreds of millions of followers that he is endorsing Kamala Harris, that she's smart, and now he is suing them for $30 million. CNN tried to pull this same garbage when he got COVID, and they told the world that he was using horse dewormer paste in order to scare you into getting that piece of crap miracle shot from Pfizer and Moderna. Why does the mainstream media do this? Why do they treat us like we're stupid? I hope he wins the $30 million, but let me roll this with Tulsi Gabbard.
Not sure if you guys caught this, but MSNBC was exposed today for yet another set of lies. They deceptively edited together this video of different Joe Rogan comments to make it appear that he was singing the praises of Kamala Harris.
She's going to win.
No, she's not.
She can win. She is a strong woman. She is a person who served overseas twice. She in a medical unit. She was a congresswoman for 8 years.
Yeah.
She is a person of color. She's everything you want. She's going to win.
No, she's not.
She can win. They just want no Trump, no matter what.
This is not reflective at all of the truth of what Joe Rogan said. And I think MSNBC has since taken this post down. But what's really serious here is that Not only does Joe Rogan deserve an apology, there's actually something far bigger at stake here. This is yet another example of how MSNBC is working hand in glove with the Democrat elite and the Kamala Harris campaign.
Like, why would they do that? Like, they even, like, they edited that she served in the military for 8 years. She has zero military experience. She's not even up to date on the Russia-Ukraine war and the Iran-Israel-Palestine war. And they're pretending like she's some American war hero. Give me a break. Kamala Harris is a disaster.
To try to spread lies, simply things that are not true. So what this means is MSNBC is a for-profit corporation. They are helping Kamala Harris's election campaign. And what they are doing through their platform would qualify as an in-kind contribution to her campaign. It's worth a lot of money. The fact that they are doing this should require the Federal Elections Commission that manages campaign spending and campaign finance to require them to report this as an in-kind campaign contribution.
So this is a really big deal, what Tulsi Gabbard is pointing out. You can only give $3,500 or $3,300 to Kamala Harris's campaign, right? Like, I'm giving $0, just to be absolutely clear. But somebody, if they wanted to, could do, just over $3,000. MSNBC literally gave them like $50 million worth of free advertising. And she's saying that is actually an in-kind contribution, and you are trying to rig the election. You're trying to sway the election with free media coverage.
Or to be punished for abusing their position in trying to use their platform that has nothing to do with journalism. It is purely a propaganda platform, and that they are using this in order to try to help Kamala Harris get elected. These people need to be held accountable for what they're doing, because otherwise they will continue to do this, continue to abuse their platform and their power to try to deceive the American people and help her get elected.
Yeah, I mean, unbelievable. What the media is going bananas trying to make Kamala Harris look intelligent, experienced, that she will have great foreign policy, that she will finally be the one to crush the inflation that is ruining your life, that she will be an incredible wartime hero president. None of these things are true. This is Mockingbird media. This is the media trying to lie to you so that you will believe them and vote for her. But I know you guys are too smart for this. All right, now I want to react to another video. This one of George Stephanopoulos, where he literally loses his mind on the race baiting with Kamala Harris. Check this out.
And you just repeated the slur again. If it doesn't matter, why do you all keep questioning her identity? She's always identified as a black woman. She is biracial. She has a Jamaican father and an Indian mother. She's always identified as both. Why are you questioning that?
Well, George, first of all, this is something that's actually a conversation throughout social media right now. There are a lot of people who are trying to figure this out. But again, that's a side issue, not the main issue. The main issue.
Sir, 1 second. You just did it. You just did it again.
Of the United States.
Why do you insist on questioning her racial identity?
You want me to talk?
I want you to answer my question.
George, now that you're done yelling at me, let me answer.
Okay, look at George Stephanopoulos' face. You can see pure rage in his eyes. This dude, watch this wall. Byron Donalds just absolutely schools him.
He talked about it on the stage yesterday in Atlanta for 2 minutes? He spent more than 35, 40 minutes going after her record, talking about how radical of a senator that she was. She was the most liberal senator in the United States, in the United States Senate. That is a fact. He talked about the job that she did as vice president of the United States, a job, I will add, which has been a failure for the American people. I know you guys like to glom on to this that he talks about in jest or in a serious manner for about a minute or so, but what you do not cover is the litany of failures of Kamala Harris. That's what you're not covering, George.
So questioning somebody's racial identity for a couple minutes is okay?
George, I'm going to tell you again, he brought it up. AP is the one that wrote the headline when she first came in to the United States Senate. Didn't talk about her being black, talked about her being the first Indian American senator. AP brought that up. I mean, George, we could have this conversation for the entire segment, but none of this matters to the American people. What matters to the American people is, are we going to have the same policies of the Biden-Harris administration that has been destructive of the American people, or are we going to have the policies of the Trump administration, which put America first, had low inflation, prosperous Americans, no matter your race, no matter your color, no matter your creed, and a foreign policy that kept America safe? Those are the facts that truly matter, because this issue is going to come and go. The lives of the American people is what's going to remain, and that's what matters more than anything else.
If it doesn't matter, I don't understand why you keep on repeating it, why the president keeps on repeating it, why those introducing the president yesterday
George,
keep on
actually,
repeating
I'm not
it.
the one who keeps repeating it. George, you're the one that's bringing it up now.
Oh, I love it. He's like, why do you guys keep bringing it up? George, you're the only one that keeps bringing it up.
That's
You've done it,
I understand why
sir.
you
You've done it.
up.
You've done it
Because,
3 times. Every single answer
George,
you gave me. Now let me finish, sir.
George,
Every single answer you gave, you repeated the slur.
Asked me, George. That's why I'm pushing back on you now. George, you asked me the question 3 times. I responded, but I'm
and
also
every
about
single
what
time you
truly
repeat
matters
the
in this
slur.
election.
That is exactly my point. You simply can't say that it's wrong.
George, so then what you're saying, and I want to get off this topic because this is not the only thing that's going on. But George, now you're saying that AP is the one that slurred Kamala Harris, because those are the facts. You can go to the internet and look at the clips, George, if you want to, or we can talk about this now. I prefer to talk about the future of our country, because the American people are struggling. The American people do need serious policy decisions to be made, and they need serious leadership on the world stage. Kamala Harris has not proven that she can do that. Donald J. Trump has proven that he can do that.
AP did not say that Kamala Harris is not black. She is biracial. She is Indian. She is black. You continue to repeat the fact that you continue to repeat the slur. I don't understand why you and the president do it, but it's clear you're not going to say that it's wrong. And you've now established that for our audience.
Wow. Like trying to gotcha him on live TV. Byron Donalds, man, that dude is a stud. Like, I knew that they were going to pick J.D. Vance, but that dude was at the top of my list to be the vice president. I think he would have done a fantastic job. Look at how he absolutely schooled George Stephanopoulos. George Stephanopoulos brings up her race 3 times and then says, why do you keep bringing up her race? Like, I don't care if Kamala Harris is black. I don't care if she is Indian, but she has been introducing herself as Indian. The news has introduced her as Indian. She has gone on celebrity shows as an Indian. And so what they're really trying to do is they are terrified of losing the black vote. And so they have to make her more black. But the reality is George Stephanopoulos is right. She comes from a Jamaican father and an Indian mother. That's it. Those are the facts. All right, now, Whoopi Goldberg and Sunny Hostin from The View defended Kamala Harris and her race identity in a very strange way. They said, if you have even a single drop of black blood in your body, then you are a black person. Okay, that's fine. They then said, this is the same old stuff Trump did with Obama. Obama, his mom was white, his dad was black, she said. If the KKK were chasing him, they'd say, there goes a black man. If the KKK were chasing Kamala, they'd say, there goes a black woman. So this went from, is Kamala Harris black or Indian, to suddenly Donald Trump is having the KKK chase down Kamala Harris? Like, I don't even think the KKK still exists. I don't know. To me, this seems like a huge stretch, but I don't know. The left is obsessed with skin color and sexual identity. But again, isn't it crazy to watch George Stephanopoulos yelling at Byron Donalds over what it means to be black? Last I checked, only one of those guys was black. So can you see now why Kamala Harris only wants to debate Donald Trump if George Stephanopoulos is the moderator? Pretty interesting, right? All right, now a couple of just quick tidbits and I'll let you get out of here. Donald Trump is leading Kamala Harris among 18 to 34-year-olds by 4 points, according to data out today from Survey USA. I'm telling you, this honeymoon bump and then an Obama endorsement bump is now sinking. Meanwhile, Donald Trump, he just continues to rise. So he is absolutely dominating her in the age 18 to 34, according to Survey USA. Donald Trump 50%, Kamala Harris 46%. Now, what the data pointed out, which I thought was really, really interesting, is the fact that Donald Trump got to 50% at all. He's not gotten to 50%. So that is actually a bigger indicator than the fact that he's beating her by 4 points, which is huge in the elections. Okay, now this is also really terrible. 9 United Nations staff employees have now been proven to have been involved or supported the Hamas attack on Israel. So you have employees of the United Nations that were part of attacking Israel, and then they go on the media and say, Israel needs to stop killing people. You were literally a part of attacking Israel. That's crazy. All right, now, big money guru Jim Cramer, the host of Mad Money, said today that if you care about your paycheck, you will vote for Donald Trump because the markets are going to get volatile. So Jim Cramer, who is not a fan of Donald Trump, to hear him say, if you care about your hard-earned money, then voting for Donald Trump is the better option of Trump or Kamala Harris. This dude said this on national television. And he does not like Donald Trump. So if you care about your money, sounds like Donald Trump is the better option. If you care about the power of the dollar, Donald Trump is the better option. If you want us to get out of these wars or avoid a kinetic war with the United States and your children or grandchildren, then Donald Trump is the better option. If you want to protect your money, gold and silver with Colonial Metals Group is the better option. Anyway, pretty crazy to have Jim Cramer from Mad Money go on national television and say, if you respect your hard-earned money, then voting for Donald Trump is the best way to do that. All right, thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. Please give this video a like. Stay amazing. I love you. Let me go through these super chats.